The Moondrop Harmon. Let's talk about it. The Moondrop Harmon is a 3 dynamic driver IEM that costs around $350 area dependent. This was sent out to me by Apos Audio as a tour unit. I do not get to keep it. Let's start by looking at the build quality of this IEM, then we'll go from there. Let's look at the IEM itself. Now, the IEM is very long. It is a nice, comfortable shell for me. I don't think it particularly isolates well. It's short. It's kind of stubby. It is a plastic shell, so build quality doesn't feel very durable or very premium. It's not a bad or poorly made IEM, but I would worry that it might have not the best build quality in the world. You can kind of tell looking at the Magic 1 there. It's super long, kind of stubby, slightly recessed 2-pin cable connector. There is venting on this. Overall, okay IEM, but I feel like at this price, I would expect maybe a little bit better build quality, but it is acceptable. As far as the cable goes, right for red, blue for left. It's a fabric cable, which isn't really my preferred style of cable, which is not too bad. It has a functioning Y split. It is a, it's not a bad cable. It's not my favorite Moondrop cable, but, some people might like it. It's kind of spongy. It's fabricy. You can change the termination out. This is, I believe, a very similar style to the cable that they have on, say, the Aria or some of their newer IEMs. So it's easy to pull it out, change this to a 4.4 or something else, and there you go. The case is fine. It's black. It's kind of the leatherette. Again, this is pretty much the same case they use in all their IEMs. It's a solid case. Not super exciting. Not bad at all. But there you go. So this sonically, how does this sound? It's hard because it's not exactly what I would recommend from Moondrop, even at this price point. It's clear, yet there's some roughness is present in the treble, some hissiness and ever so slight sibilance. This is a slightly colorized set that is a little bit on the bass heavy side, which goes for, to me, in my opinion, this is a kind of an enjoyable tune. It delivers it in a manner that I believe is decent, acceptable, and a unique set in the Moondrop kind of a line. The bass is nice. The mids are clean with no real shout to my ears, yet it lacks some of that upper treble, like the very upper treble detail. The lower treble is actually pretty well done, but there's a little bit of a grainy timbre, but it's acceptable. There's a good overall tonality, but the feeling of it, there's this not overly crispy, great, or dynamic, but it is okay. It is acceptable. And the bass is quite nice. It is strong, but it does feel slightly soft. Dynamics overall are, again, good, but not exceptional. Thick and rich. Again, this is not an unenjoyable IEM, but the problem is that it's just fine. $350 buys you a lot. And so let's look at some graphs and then kind of go over what kind of sound characteristic this has. All right, the Moondrop Harmon. Let's look at this thing. Let's normalize this around 500. And what you notice has a nice little bit of a bass boost, but quite a bit of upper treble when you do that. And so this is a little bit different from what I normally would go after because there's a little bit of upper mids, but it doesn't bother me that much, and it's still a pretty good set overall. I wanted to compare it to some other Moondrop IEMs. First of all, let's compare it to the variations. You can tell, when you normalize this at 500, you notice the Harmon does have a little bit more bass. It does have quite a bit more upper mids. All in all, it's not a bad set. I feel like the Variations has a little bit better treble extension, a little bit more air. It's a little bit more of a clean presentation. The Harmon's bass is fun, but its upper mids can kind of sour it. If we look at some other IEMs, and we might be like, well, Jaytis, why are you talking about the Variations? Because the Variations can sometimes be had in the used market for around that 350 mark. And also, it's from the same company. Now, Dusk Let's get the dusk, because the dusk can be had for definitely the same price or lower. Like I think you can buy a dusk for like the new dusk for around 300 or even cheaper, depending if you're willing to go use market. But you can tell the dusk just has way less bass, which is okay, way less upper mids. So I mean, I really like Dust DSP, and I think it does a really good job and kind of has really crispy upper highs and detail. I kind of like the flatness with a little bit of a bass boost on the Dust DSP. Now, even the Dust regular has a very similar tonality with just a little bit more 6K, which some people might like. I personally think the Dust DSP is a little bit better, but regular Dusk is actually pretty good. And to be had at the same price, it's already like Moondrop's kind of looking in at the Critical Dusk, and they've made another IEM that's approximately the same price. I guess $50 MSRP apart. Now the Dusk has gone up in price, but because of the used market is what it is, you can have this IEM pretty readily because there's a lot of people that will buy and sell it. Another one to look at is the Blessing 3. Now the Blessing 3 has less bass, a little bit more shout, a little bit more trebly, but the Blessing 3 is a really nice set. And so it has very stiff competition. Like I kind of think the Blessing 3 and the Harmon are about on the same level, but I like the Dusk more because I feel it just has a more of a rich and crispier highs and better bass. So it kind of depends what you want. Now something like the Cadence. The Cadence has way less bass, a little bit more warmth, kind of has that mid-bassy styles tuning. And I think the Cadence is going to be something for $150 less that some people might like. The packaging of the Cadence is way better, and that's something to think about. Another one to look at is the Concerto, which is a DSP as MEMS driver technology. If you can need a DSP IEM, you know, the Harmon, one of the problems with the Harmon is it doesn't have any DSP. It doesn't have a dongle. It just has the IEM itself, so the packaging is a little bit lackluster, and the sound of it is a little bit, it's a little bit bright. Now, there are a few other IEMs that went for Harmon, and I don't think the Harmon is a bad IEM, but I think there's other things to maybe consider. One thing that's an IEM that came out that's a little bit cheaper is the Jazeera 81T. Now I would go over the Harmon over the Jazeera 81Ts. The upper highs feel a little bit too much, and the upper treble doesn't feel right on me. But that doesn't mean it's that much better, and it's also quite a bit cheaper. If you look at the Truth Dare Blue, now the Truth Dare Blue, in my personal opinion, was a dumpster fire, and it didn't do well. Like, I ended up selling mine, and the guy who's selling it is still trying to sell it, unfortunately. I feel bad for him. But it's just not a very good IEM that went for Harmon, and I feel like what they're trying to do here is, it's pretty good. Another one I wanted to show you that this reminds me of is the Dyna Quattro. If we pull up that here, you'll notice that the Dyna Quattro and this have very similar drivers. The Dyna Quattro is like 240, the Moon or 260, something like that, depending on where you get it and price. And the Moondrop Harmon being at 350. Like they're I don't know, their Gerbs are very similar. Like you have a little bit more of a bass tuck with the Harmon, whereas the Dyna Quattro has a little bit more thicker mids, which I personally appreciate. But I mean, other than that, there's a lot of similarities except after 8K. So it kind of depends what you want, but I feel like there's a richer, thicker, more organic tonality from the Dyna Quattro than the Harmon itself. The Moondrop Harmon, let's rank it up. I mean, for a $350 IEM, I don't think it's terrible. I don't really think it's something that I would ever reach for or go after. I think it's forgettable, I'll be honest. I think it has nice bass, but I think you can get a lot of IEMs that have nice bass that are better than this. I think its mids are okay. It's a little bit unoriginal of a tuning, but it's a decent set of Harmon. It's enjoyable. It has it's a smooth tonality. And it is a good set. It's just not a great set. Its highs are fine. Its imaging's pretty good. Its note weight's not bad. And it's thick and a rich organic tonality. But it's just not as crispy. It's not as detail orientated as I would want. I mean, there's so many other IEMs that you can get from Moondrop around this price that do really, really well. As far as like at this price, how does this do? I'm giving it like a B+, which is like mildly not competitive at the $300 price point. I mean, it's hard because there's stuff like that, like the Dust that's also from Moondrop, the Blessing 3 that's also from Moondrop. I mean, there's a lot of other IEMs out there that you can get for 350. And so, like, I mean, you can get stuff like the Kiwi Ears Aether, like the Chopin, the Dyna Quattro, I believe, is better, like the Alpha Performer 7 or the Astral. And so the when it's even its own lineup isn't as good in my opinion. The Harmon becomes a little bit of a specialized tonality. Now, as far as how this ranks in the market, we are giving this a B plus. So it's acceptable. But I mean, you get something like the Cadence that has a better overall package. You get something like the S8, has a similar graph, but sounds way better. The Dusk, I mean, it's a good release. It's a good IEM, but it has a unique place in the market. And I think with the congested market, especially even from Moondrop's IEMs, it becomes a strange release. The ability to be exceptional is a challenge. The whole Moondrop Harmon itself is kind of a funny thing because Moondrop has this great place in the market, and I feel like they've increased their pricing. There's a process in business. It's called price skimming. It involves initially setting a lower price to gain market share, then raising prices once your dominant position is established. And this becomes an interesting because I don't know who this is for. My guess, Moondrop fanboys, people with a ton of cash, people that love Harmon, that really want something more from their Moondrop IEMs. I believe the price in China is a lot cheaper than this, but it's hard to say. I mean, it has some qualities, like it has improved bass over the Meteor. It has kind of improved upper mids to a certain extent over, say, the Dust DSP. There are qualities of this IEM that I think people are going to like, but it is something that I really feel that I can really push to you guys. And there's other IEMs that are cheaper that I think are better, like the Cadence, like the Aria 2, like the Dusk, like the Blessing 3, like the Meteor. It becomes one of those things that just, for its price, for a bang for buck, it's a poor value, but a fine IEM. I mean, even though I don't get to keep it, I don't really have any desire to pick it up or really listen to it again because I think it's just okay. It's just Harmon. It's just what a bunch of people have decided that people are going to like, and it's not what I like. But maybe it's what you'll like. This is my review. If you guys have any questions on the Harmon, let me know. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye for now. You're still here. It's over. Go home. Oh, you're expecting a teaser for our next video. Well, we don't have that kind of money. What are you expecting? One of those store reviewers to show up in a saucy little leather number? Go. Oh, I can tell you one thing. We are going to have a collab video. We have no idea what it's going to be. Probably Kryn, maybe Chris, or Joyce. Don't deny it. She's got range. Go. Get out of here. Go. 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 Go on with you. You're mid, you're mid, you're mid, you're legendary. Your Mitt, Jaytis out.